podcast contains adult themes and language. The views expressed here are our own opinions and experiences. We are not medical professionals.
In this podcast, we discuss our opinions about mental health, sobriety, addiction, and our pursuit of happiness and peace. This is Sober Mind.
Yeah, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, my love.
Good morning.
Happy Saturday.
Yes, happy Saturday.
What a beautiful time to be alive. Okay, before we get started, introductions. My name is John.
I'm Judy.
And this is Sober Mind. Here we have grown folk conversations about some pretty dramatic and realistic stuff. Unfiltered, raw.
Hopefully with a little levity.
Yeah, with a little bit of levity. I just want to make a quick announcement. Patrick is no longer going to be on the show. We appreciate all of his contributions that he's made.
Yes, very much so.
We really, really appreciate that. So we wish him well in his future endeavors. So the format of our show is going to change just a little bit, and that is that Judy and I are going to go back to our basics on how we got the show started, and we're going to keep on rocking and rolling and taking care of our mental health. So, yeah, sorry. Gasp. I know, Denise. Hey, don't be driving around on your phone chatting in Discord.
Yes, we're going to miss Patrick.
Okay. All right, let's get going. Today's discussion is going to be about... Hold on. Let's clear the air here. I got my shoulder surgery done yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And it was uneventful. The coolest...
Uneventful?
Well...
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I thought so. I mean, it was very cool in the sense that the anesthesiologist said, all right, you're going to be out in 15 seconds. There's no need to count down or anything like that. I was like, I'd highly doubt that. Then I remember blinking, just to blink my eyes. Then I opened my eyes and I was in recovery. I was like, what kind of time warp was this? So anyway, I have a nerve block in my shoulder. It's starting to wear off. So I have to wear this fancy bracelet for 96 hours in case.
His arm is like Gumby.
Yeah, it's dead. It's very strange. It's like meeting a stranger. It's the only way I can describe it. It's very numb. Okay. You doing okay, love?
Yeah.
All right.
Doing good.
I'm doing good. Let's talk about gratitude.
I'm grateful that you came through the surgery.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that it wasn't as bad as what they thought it was going to. holy cow, you guys, this was going to be a 6-week in the sling major ordeal. And they said he's done and he'll only have to be in the sling until the numbness wears off, which was like 3 days. And then he can do whatever, he can walk around and move his arm. He just can't pull or push anything, but he'll be able to have hopefully free movement of his arm. I mean, I'm grateful for that. I really am.
Yeah, they released a nerve, carved out some bone, and did something with the upper bicep area.
Repaired it. It was torn.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, me too. Okay, my gratitude is for our continued spiritual and mental growth that you and I are doing.
You're here.
Yeah, we're reconnecting with some old friends, which has been rejuvenating and, I don't know, just exciting. Yeah,
these are old drinking friends that we used to party with, and they've kind of cleaned up their act a little bit, and we were really close with them. So it'll be interesting to see how the dynamic works now that, we're sober and they're kind of they're not really sober.
I don't know what their status is. It is what it is, but that's going to be, I said, Judy and I are going to practice. Judy's going to try not to say, and I'm going to try not to say, so much.
Yeah. So. Well, it's going to be interesting in the dynamic of sitting down with people that we used to drink with and party with and get just shit-faced with, and not worry, but observe the interaction between us now. Is there going to be interaction? Are we going to be able to have a good time with them like we used to before, minus the alcohol?
Yeah. I'm sure we will. We just have to reestablish
a different bond.
Well, no, it's not that. We have a really tight bond with them, which is really nice because they've really stuck with us, and while we've been sort of the absentee portion of this relationship the entire time.
Which we kind of had to.
I'm not going into anything with expectations, but just that I really miss them. I miss them a lot. We established a great relationship with them.
Very much so.
Well, now that we're talking about that, I'll jump right into it. This was kind of my segue of why we stopped drinking. We had a really good relationship. We drank a lot. Judy and I got to the point to where we just had to quit.
I don't even remember driving home from their houses a lot of the time.
I know. It was dangerous.
Very dangerous.
It was very self-destructive, what we were doing. They weren't the linchpin of our issue. Our issue was our issue.
Mm-hmm.
And as well as other friends that we would hang out with, we really, really over-imbibed. So the questions I got, we've got thousands of comments on our channel lately. Thousands. It's pretty cool. I share them with Judy all the time. In short, there's a lot of people that want to know more about how we quit drinking, why we quit drinking, and can we ever have maybe just one? So that's what this show's going to be about. We're gonna
No.
Yeah.
Answer to that is no.
Spoiler alert, no. So we're going to jump right into that. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Lee. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Odie. And Michelle.
Yep. Thank you all for coming
yeah.
and tuning in with us again today.
Big shout out to Cujo. He won his wrestling invitational.
Yeah.
He weighs about $150, and he decided to go take the whole bracket and wanted to take on a guy that was 275 pounds. He got roasted.
Almost double his weight.
Yeah.
Good grief.
But anyway.
Good job, though, man.
Yeah, congrats.
That is awesome.
So Judy and I've been a really heavy drinker for 30 years. Judy has been an occasional drinker, and then for the 20 years that we've known, 23 years that we've known each other.
I was more than an occasional drinker.
Yeah.
I used to party with a huge group of friends and just get hammered. And luckily I would spend the night there most of the time because I couldn't drive myself home. But oh boy, there were some party times.
Yeah. So the entire few decades that Judy and I have known each other, we've had our ups and downs with alcohol. And in the last, a good 9 to 10 years, it really got out of control.
Yeah.
It became our lifestyle. So when we
I have a quick question. Do you think that if I had quit drinking, would you have like done a closet deal?
That's a good question. I couldn't do how in the hell would I hide it? I would reek of a brewery all the time. There's no way.
That's true. And being sober, you can smell it a mile away.
Yeah. That's a good question, babe. I don't know. No, that's a whole can of worms I can't even unpack.
I was just curious.
No, I wouldn't. There's no way I could hide it from you. That would have ended up in just us separating.
Yeah.
Okay, let's back up a little bit. Because that's a good question. I think that's sort of the linchpin of our relationship. So how we quit drinking. There was a lot of questions about the physical portion and what happened. And I'll be very, very candid and very transparent about this. For the latter 2 years of my drinking adventures, I started to have a brain issue. I would have what I would equate to seizures in the shower. And
petite seizures.
Petite. They weren't huge. They were. I would start to relax, and then I would get electrical impulses, and I would feel like I was gonna pass out, and I would lose control of my faculties. And the only way, and so I think it was also an introduction to DTs, delirium tremens, because the reason I always mention it was happening in the shower is because that's the time when I was likely having alcohol withdrawal just from the previous day because the amount I would consume. You guys, I drank a lot of fucking beer.
Yeah, we would go through
a 30-pack on a Friday, easy.
Yeah, easy.
With a couple boxes of wine.
Of wine, yeah.
And then if Kim and Brian were around, we would have shots of
Crown Royal
of whiskey. Yeah. Oh. So the withdrawal symptoms were hard.
And then on top of that, we'd eat really, really hot peppers, which is just I'm surprised we don't have severe ulcers.
Yeah.
By now.
And so I started having those physical ailments. I would lay in bed in the mornings, weeping gently to myself. Good morning, Kim. We were just talking about you. We would gently cry and try to get out of bed, and I'd always do the same thing. I would get up and I would say, "This is it. This is the last day I'm gonna drink." And this happened for years, you guys. Followed by me literally drinking a beer in the shower and getting on with it. I'm still super functional with a lot of stuff. I still ran. I still continued on with my career, which I have now still.
How the hell did we run that whole year? We did like
I don't know. Well,
30 different 10Ks and
7 half marathons.
7 half marathons and still drank heavily through the whole thing. How
Yeah.
the hell did we do that?
Perpetual hungover, perpetual drunkenness, just wash, rinse, repeat all the time.
Have a pizza and a couple bottles of red wine the night before the race.
Yeah, that was our ritual. So, it just got to the point to where for several years, I was not happy with this anymore. I was lying to myself. I was making excuses. It doesn't agree with me, and it really puts a dent in my spirit and my soul. Because my passion is me being passionate, if that makes any sense.
That's a good one, yeah.
I'm a happy person, and I really enjoy life. That's the complexity of alcoholism for me, is that I enjoy life so much that drinking always made it better.
Quote unquote better.
Yeah. Because I got into the ritual of it all the time.
And it's quite a ritual.
Yeah.
I remember when we were crying in our pillows and wondering what the hell we were doing. I was having physical issues as well, but mine was to the point to where I could actually feel my liver. Folks, you should never be able to feel your liver, but I could feel it was literally sore to press on the side where your liver is. And also, when I'd wake up in the morning and go out to get coffee,
Yeah.
constantly shaking until I got at least 2 or 3 beers, and then, whoo, boy, I was steady Eddie.
Yeah. And do you
But-
mind if I share your double whammy with that?
Go ahead.
Judy's double whammy is that on top of that, she would smoke copious amounts of weed.
Oh, I was a pothead. Oh man, I was a daily.
Hourly.
yeah,
Don't
hourly.
Yeah. So we'll.
I don't think I was ever sober.
No.
Ever for at least a good 15 years.
Yeah. We used to have to make plans around trips and lunches and dinner and
Yeah.
going to friends' house. We would have to do the calculus of what restaurant are we going to? Do they serve beer? We would turn down restaurants, you guys, if they didn't. If we knew they didn't serve alcohol, we just wouldn't go because we
couldn't imagine going to a place that didn't serve alcohol. Are you crazy?
it was very
You
foreign.
have a restaurant, you don't serve alcohol?
Strange. It was very fucking foreign to
We
us.
missed some really good food,
We
too.
missed a lot of good food. So yeah, we got to that stage, and so circling way back to your question about if one of us were to get sober before the other, what would that have looked like? I don't know, babe. I could not handle it.
I think you're right. I don't think we would have stayed together. It would have been just too much of a...
That breaks my heart. I don't even really want to think about that.
Oh, honey.
Well, it's true though, I guess. Because I can't. So
I don't think we could have.
when we
It's
quit,
really hard. It's really hard for a relationship for one person to go sober and the other one not.
Oh yeah.
I mean, sobriety itself is a difficult journey. It's difficult. It's worth it, but it's a difficult journey. And then to sit there 24/7 and have your partner, the person that you love, continue drinking or smoking or doing whatever drug it is. Oh my goodness. I could not imagine the struggle of going through that. That is, so intense.
Yeah. And I experienced a little bit of it. So when we quit drinking
For those 2 weeks.
for the 2 weeks, Judy continued to ingest the devil's lettuce, the Satan's cigar, if you will. And
Cigar.
and it was tough for me then because I thought, man, this is hard for me. I can't see the vision of me being sober and you not drinking but still smoking.
Yeah. Well, I think that one of the reasons why I quit doing that as well is because I didn't feel like I was actually going through a sobriety journey.
Yeah.
I was going through the non-drinking part of the sobriety journey, but I was still high all the time.
Yeah. You were just dry and high.
Yeah. So, I mean, at that point I was like, okay, I'm not putting in the same amount of effort that my husband's putting in. And if we're going to do this, we're going to do this completely. And so I gave all my pot away and all my implements away and threw away whatever nobody took. And that was it.
Yeah. We had some super grateful neighbors.
Yeah, some very grateful neighbors.
So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Because going into this together was a true blessing. Be forewarned, though, it can go the other way sometimes, unfortunately, too. I've seen horror stories of couples getting sober and then they end up just breaking up because,
Yeah.
well, just for reasons.
I would think that most of the time that they got together under drunken areas or
Yeah.
non-sober.
Well, you and I did
environments.
too, but
That's true. But I don't know if it was. We were actually still pretty sober because you were driving truck when we got together, so you were
yeah,
sober.
yeah. Well,
We didn't get into the drinking aspect until you stopped driving drunk.
we didn't.
Truck.
So the real refreshing portion of our sobriety journey together was that we found that when we quit together, we really established a new relationship after being married for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
A stronger bond.
There's a different level of honesty and transparency as well in our relationship.
Yeah.
We
I
weren't
think
we weren't devious or lying before.
No.
It was just unsaid stuff sometimes. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Omission.
Oh, yeah.
I think the
Perpetual state of taking the Fifth Amendment.
yeah. Yeah. Since we did the sobriety journey, the honesty is there because we have no real reason not to be honest now.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Michelle brings up a good point. I don't always like to talk about Michelle's and Guy's story because I have a dream one day, Michelle, that you and Guy will be physically here and you'll tell the entire story. It'll be like a 3-hour podcast for sure.
Hopefully Christmas.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, have the whole family here. Okay. So how we quit. Judy and I read I was in my office. I just couldn't take it. I was hungover on a Monday morning. This was the last time in 1,000 times. And I walked into the bedroom and I said, hey, so I was flirting with it. This is the reason why we never quit during our relationship, because we were always scared to bring this up. This is a thing amongst relationships.
Yeah.
I was scared because I was scared. There's
Fear's a big thing in sobriety. Fear is a huge thing in sobriety.
Yeah. It's monumental. So I walked in, I said, hey, let's try. It was, I don't know. There was an event going on. I said, hey, let's try to do, let's try to drink on the weekends only.
Yeah.
Not during the weekdays.
Let's not drink during the week. I love the bargains our brains try to make,
yeah.
make us do. Let's not drink during the week, and we'll just drink on the weekends.
Yeah. And Judy goes, oh, okay, that sounds great. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Well,
I really wanted to just kind of back off, so that sounds great.
The glint in your eye, though, was sort of I was like, oh, she's really interested in this because you got excited about it.
Oh, she's receptive.
Yeah. I wasn't flirting with this. I didn't know how to tackle this. I wanted to do this for myself and had a deep desire for my spouse to jump on board. There was no manipulation that was happening, but I didn't know how to approach this. So this is our story.
Yeah.
So
and at the same time, I wanted to do this same journey, but I didn't know how to approach you.
I imagine me approaching you was easier in the dynamic of a relationship than you approaching me because
yes,
beer was my foundation.
Yes.
It was who I was. It was my identity.
Well, I was also working at a grain store selling beer supplies and how to brew your own beer. And we were also making our own beer.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle.
Yes.
So I walked back out of the office. I went into the office. No, and I thought about it for a minute, and I came back in and I said, do you realize that if we quit drinking during the week and only drink on the weekends, you and I will make up for that shit all the lost days tenfold. We will be just fucking nuclear on the weekend. I said, how about let's try to quit for 30 days?
Yep.
Well, I didn't say let's try to quit. I said I want to not drink for 30 days. That was the omission. That wasn't me telling you that I wanted to quit drinking. It was let's do a challenge, a 30-day challenge.
I think I was the one who actually said let's not drink during the week and do the weekends, and then you came back and said let's do a 30-day challenge, and I said okay, let's do a 30-day challenge, and then like a half an hour later, you said, you know what? I think if I'm going to quit drinking for 30 days, I'm just going to quit drinking forever. And oh man,
how did you feel?
I was scared. I was nervous. I was afraid. I mean, just all of the emotions all at once. I was worried about losing friends. I was worried about not being able to experience the same environment. I was afraid that if I didn't have alcohol around, I wouldn't be able to be the so-called happy person that I thought I was. I was afraid that something I wanted was being taken away from me.
Yeah.
There was just a lot of fear. So that first initial response that you got from me was straight up fear. And then after I thought about it and gave it a little thought, I came back with, okay, let's do this. And we did.
Yeah. Haven't looked back.
No.
Well, we look back.
Well,
on
we've
it
had cravings. Oh boy.
in the beginning, for sure.
I still have cravings. But
Yeah.
they're so fleeting, and I just play the tape forward and realize that I don't want to deal with the hangover the next day. So
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know what we're saying with play the tape forward, yeah, Lee, the fear of deprivation for all that. Yeah, absolutely.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the playing it forward is the cravings aren't a physical manifestation for me. Like when I quit nicotine, that was a, oh my God.
Or when I quit smoking pot.
Yeah. Yeah. You had it rough. But I started to figure out that it was more ritual based. I was building a shed in the back. It was summertime after I quit. And it was ritual. I got done. I came up. I needed a beer.
Cold beer,
A cold
yeah.
beer in my hand, and I needed to chug it. Just because that's what I always did. And then, of course,
that's that reward.
yeah, the reward that I had been thinking about for the last 3 hours prior to leading up to that.
Yeah.
So that was the first prideless moment that I had with Judy. I said, I'm really craving a fucking beer right now. And she said, have a seltzer water. And so I cracked open a seltzer water, and it was just the effervescence and the coldness of it that really, I was like, oh, okay, this feels nice. This is
That
good.
helped.
Yeah, that helped. And so it was getting rid of those rituals that we always had.
Yeah.
And
The first warm day in spring.
first,
You want a nice cold glass of wine.
yeah,
White wine.
sit out on the front porch and
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So we have to play the tape forward, as Judy was saying. We never have a glass of cold wine
No.
or a beer.
It never stops at one.
Those are the beautiful moments. That first one. That is that's what
Or the anticipation of
that.
the lead up to.
But that's where Judy and I and other alcoholics, we don't have that capacity. That's why we can never ever drink again. We can't have one, because that one will turn into several boxes or bottles of wine, and it will lead to this manifestation of the depression that happens overnight. And then we wake up and we're stuck in this bottomless pit of what the fuck did I do again?
Yeah.
And now
I think that right now would be the biggest killer for me, is how much I would self-loathe
oh yeah.
because I had given in to that need or want.
Yeah. Proud of you.
Proud of you.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
Okay, so I jumped on the internet and I found a book called The Easy Way to Quit Drinking by Alan Carr, Carr.
Okay, so you may think that this is a joke, that this is an easy way to quit drinking. Give me a break. But really, it was some of the things in there, I had full on aha light bulb moments. One of the sayings that I loved, and it made perfect sense to me, is that think of it as, I'm bummed because I don't get to drink anymore. I'm happy because I don't have to drink anymore.
Yeah.
And that was just a light bulb moment for me.
Those are the big ones that helped me. So we still do it now. We'll wake up in the morning and we'll roll over and look at each other and we'll say, isn't it awesome that we don't have to be hungover anymore?
Yeah. I don't have to drink.
Yeah. It's 5:00. The birds are chirping. The sun's coming out. We can look at the sunset.
I don't feel absolutely miserable.
Yeah. Man, babe, I'm pretty sure there was a couple times to where I'm pretty sure I had alcohol poisoning and I somehow got through it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Okay, so that's sort of the journey. I want to talk about. I don't have a ton of regrets with anything that we did. I wish I could do something a little bit different, and this is the first time I'm telling you about it. That's why I pinged Kim and Brian this morning. Our dear friends. What we did was we made this decision to quit drinking, and we just, like 3 days later, we texted them and said, hey, we haven't drank in 3 days. And then a couple days later, we texted and we said, we haven't drank in a week. And then things got a little bit strange because I was very self-absorbed in my own journey because I know that I had to do this, but I didn't know how to dissect the relationship portion of this either. What I wish I would have done, so if you're going through this and you have friends that drink or you have whatever kind of relationship you have, what I wish I would have done is I would have liked to got together with Kim and Brian and said, hey, Judy and I, we're going to quit drinking. We have a huge problem with alcohol. We can't moderate it one iota. We just can't do it. And it's really fucking up our soul and our overall well-being. And it's causing John to manifest a bunch of mental health issues that we're going through. So we don't have the expectation, Kim and Brian, that you're going to quit drinking, but how can we still cultivate a relationship and be friends while we go through this?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, because we were spending almost every weekend together with Brian and Kim.
Yeah, and I miss them tremendously. So it's why I'm glad that we're able to finally start to rebloom that relationship. But
yes,
that's it. I think that was very selfish and very unfair from our perspective to just loosely fucking throw that out there. It would be confusing to me if someone did that to us. If the shoes were flipped, and Kim were to be like, "Hey, we haven't drank in 3 days," I'd be like, "What the fuck does that even mean?" And then a week later, like, you're still okay. Well, fuck. Are we supposed to quit drinking? Talked. Us friends, we should have talked.
Yes, but this is also something that we had to learn going through our journey as well, because this was a first for us. I didn't know how to react with my other friends who were still drinking. I had no idea. I didn't know if I was supposed to keep. It would have been hard to keep going out with people who were still drinking and still, getting drunk and having a good time, or their good time. But I didn't know how to react to that. So I had to distance myself from it. Especially in the beginning, I had to distance myself because I would have gone right back into the same drunken circle.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a tough conversation, I guess, to unpack with your friends too. And that is, we need your support. I know
but we need to stay away.
Yeah.
I want your support, but we really have to stay away from you
for a while.
Yeah. Luckily, they've
been so patient.
Yes, they've been very patient with us
and stuck with us for literally 2.5 years.
Yes, and we're finally 2.5 years later. We're finally being able to reconnect and go out to a dinner. And
yeah, Kim is typing us. Thank you, Kim. We will look forward to it. Okay. That's our journey. That's how we quit.
Yeah. That was, I mean, we're still on the journey because it's, I think, going to be a constant thing. Not so much not wanting to drink or fighting that urge to drink, but being more mindful and being more aware of ourselves and what we can take and what we can't take. I mean, it's, we're constantly growing as human beings. And so this is going to be a constant thing for us.
Yeah. It's been inspirational too, watching Guy's journey. He just hit 10 years of sobriety, and
my brother-in-law, he's fantastic.
Yeah. it's not something I ever would have said he would succeed in. And I did say that out loud.
Yeah.
I was like, there ain't no fucking way it's going to happen.
No, he was very close friends with Jack Daniels.
Yeah. That was
But he's doing fantastic.
Yeah, and
just amazing.
On the flip side, well, kind of on the same side. Sorry to interrupt. It was interesting for me to, and I'm still doing it. We have a geographical disadvantage because he lives on the other side of the country, but I never really knew Guy when he was sober. I knew him as the hardcore drunk guy. So
yeah.
Whenever we get together and we chat and stuff, it's really nice to reconnect, both of us being sober.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't make an attempt to establish a relationship with him when I was drinking either, because
while he was sober.
Yeah, because I was scared. It's the weird
fear is a very elemental response to sobriety and during the sobriety journey.
Yeah.
I was afraid also that I wouldn't be able to do it. Luckily, I had you doing it with me, which was made it much easier for me. I had more trouble with quitting marijuana than I did with drinking, although I did have trouble with drinking too, especially because it is so much in your face as far as watching TV and in walking around in society. It is everywhere and it is accepted as a normal thing. So that being the case, it was much harder to not to deal with the alcohol issue of it than the marijuana issue of it, because it's not always in your face. It's not, we don't see commercials on TV for it.
Yeah.
And some of those commercials on TV are ridiculous.
Yeah. Alcohol commercials are nuts.
You will not be special unless you drink this.
That's right.
Drink this and you'll be the life of the party. So, well, yeah, you'll be the butt of the party at the end of the party.
Yeah.
But
so what were your firsts that you had anxiety about?
Oh, gosh.
You want me to start?
Yeah.
I was anxious about all of the first holidays that I would have to go through sober, because those were so ritualistic for me. Right at that time was Labor Day weekend. We got sober right before that. That was a huge drinking weekend for me. So
well, for both of us, we used to party hardy.
Because it's my birthday weekend, it's our anniversary weekend, and it's Labor Day, and we always celebrated that stuff on Labor Day, and we would just get fucking tanked.
Well, and then we had the fall festival.
Yep, the fall fest at our house, where we'd always smoke barbecued meats and brew beer and have everyone over, and that just can't happen if you're sober. There's no way to fake that one for us.
No.
So that had to go away, and then,
which was a bummer. We may do it with later on, but
yeah, perhaps it's a lot of fucking work if you're not sober, if you're not drunk. It's too much. And the other one right after that for me was Veterans Day.
Yeah.
Because that is my very special holiday for myself, and I used to use that as an excuse to just go off into wasteland drunkenness. I didn't need an excuse, but I would use those events as an additional layer of something that would give me, like, I'm allowed to do it. So this is an actual guilt-free.
It is still, I'm still amazed at what our brains will contrive. What excuses our brains will give us to drink just as much as we can.
Yeah. Because you and I were both on the same sheet of music on that. We didn't understand how to enjoy those events just being sober. This is what's really difficult for me to articulate, is that how are we supposed to have fun anymore? This was, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it was so linked to our sense of fun, or what we perceived as fun, that it was hard to separate the two. But I mean, we have fun now.
Yeah.
And we've been sober for 2.5 years. So.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. So for me, and I think for a lot of alcoholics, let's break down the sociology behind it real quick. Before we would go to an event, where that's a party or someone's house or a restaurant to meet someone, we would pre-drink, which is just it's not a conscious thing. You're like, oh, I need to get a little hammered before I go over to Kim and Brian's house. That's not what it is. But
we would have a couple drinks before we go over there, and I would get high before we go over there.
Yeah, because what are we doing? We're removing a social anxiety before we go engage with the social event.
Yep, very much so. I didn't even think about that, but yeah. You're absolutely right.
So now when we go somewhere, we've been working on our anxiety and mental health since we quit drinking, so it's not such a barrier to entrance. I don't have that anxiety anymore.
No.
So I can go do those things and just be with my thoughts and be in the moment and enjoying people's company without me having to be disconnected from it drunkenly.
Mm-hmm. And we're at this point to where if we're not enjoying ourselves, we just leave.
Right.
Go home, and it's totally fine.
Yeah. The one thing that I have a difficult time with, I know there are some recovering alcoholics that I think Guy does this very well. It doesn't matter if he's somewhere and there's people that are drinking and drunk. It doesn't matter. I don't know. But I have a really hard time with that. I don't like seeing people inebriated. So I gotta figure that out.
Yeah, I don't mind being around people who are drinking now. I mean, that doesn't bother me now.
But once someone starts slurring their words,
but yeah, when they start to get drunk, I'm like
repeating themselves. It's like
I'm out of here.
Yeah, now we have completely left our plane of consciousness that we were sort of able to meet on.
Yeah. Hopefully somebody takes care of that person, but I gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning, Marcus.
Hey, Marcus.
So that's it on our journey. Yeah, Lee, you're absolutely right. Now it's all about emotional sobriety.
Yeah. I remember one of the gems that Patrick said. The first year is physical, second year is emotional, and third year is spiritual. So dealing with the emotional part of it, I think that's what we've been doing this year is dealing with well, last year was kind of the emotional. So I think right now we're pretty much set to where we can deal with these things and not have to get all sketchy and weird about them.
Yeah, I'm much more comfortable in my own skin, being able to navigate this stuff now.
Yes, very much so.
And I think that's why now I'm having this longing. This is why Kim and Brian waited for us. Maybe they had some forlorn shadowing of knowing that we would come around, is because now I'm ready for it.
Yeah. Now we're in a good place to be in the environment again.
The other thing I want to mention from the several thousand comments and questions that we got in the shorts, the YouTube shorts, is how do we maintain that path of consciousness and sobriety, and how do you work on your mental health? So I guess my answer to that is it's something that you have to establish your own ritual in the beginning.
Yeah, everybody's journey is different. Don't
be afraid to seek help. Go to AA, go to Al-Anon, check out there's free resources all over the place. It's a little unsettling maybe in the beginning, but it helps to be around other people that are struggling. And
yes,
that's where
you're gonna get probably your best support.
Yes.
Other than family who is there to help and support you, but that's a whole nother issue.
Yep.
Especially if they've got their own stuff going on. But being around people who are going through the same thing you're going through, that's where you're gonna get the best support, because they know exactly what you're going through.
Yeah. And don't don't become completely disconcerted if you have a mental health cascade unleashed upon you.
When you first
When you
get
first go sober. This is what happened to me. Your mileage will vary depending on how long you've been inducing whatever it is. Hardcore drugs, alcohol. It all depends. So
it also depends on the amount of trauma that you went through that you are trying to mask by doing these other things.
yeah.
Because if there's a lot of trauma there's a lot of stuff to go through. You can go through it and you can deal with it, but it's going to be, you're going to have to face it. You're going to have to look at it.
Yep. That's what caught me off guard. I did not know that when I quit drinking, I showed you, like, here's what happens after 1 month. Here's what Google says you're going to be after 1 month, 6 months, and this is...
That's exactly what's going to happen. No.
This is going to be fantastic. That fucking roadmap is a lie.
Hey, it may work for somebody.
For somebody.
It may work for somebody.
Maybe a college kid that spent their last 2 years drinking a couple Natty Lights now and then. But
yeah,
for me, it was super scary and super disconcerting. I had panic attacks. I had uncontrolled. I got to the point to where I had borderline agoraphobia. It was bad.
Yeah, and my anxiety was through the roof.
Yeah, I couldn't leave the house. I had to see a therapist and see a psychiatrist, and what it was is just the cliche of all of these pent up emotions just crept to the surface. They came oozing and whittling themselves out of the alcoholic stupor.
You thought I was gone, but I'm not.
Bitch, you can't kill me until you talk to me.
Yep, exactly.
And you guys, it was hardcore heavy shit that I started talking about with my therapist. It was a lot of Desert Storm stuff that military stuff in general, but the big thing that
That's the one thing that you didn't really talk much about with me. I knew some of it. I think I knew the surface stuff, but you never really got into the deep stuff with me about your military time.
Yeah. But the biggest thing was at 50 years old, the repressed emotions and the lingering effects from child abuse that I went through. It's stuff that we don't think is there. And I was never intentionally covering up anything with alcohol that I was aware of, but I was covering up things with alcohol.
I think you might subconsciously might have been doing that. I don't think you were consciously doing that, because there was times when we were drinking, and if you were having a bad day or you were not happy and you didn't feel good, you didn't drink because you just didn't want it. You're like, no, I don't want that right now. I'm going through something right now.
Yeah, that was a rare occasion.
that was a rare occasion, but there were some times because most of the time you drank while you were happy.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of times where you grabbed a beer when you were pissed off.
Yeah. So I'm still navigating that stuff. I've got a lot of unresolved questions and pathways to solutions with the abuse that I suffered from my mother. But I'm getting through it. I'm figuring it out.
It's still a lot. I think the trauma for anybody who is going through a sobriety journey, they are going to have to deal with whatever trauma that happened in their life that is causing them to cover it up with drugs or alcohol or whatever other kind of addictive thing that they dove into.
Yeah.
They're going to have to deal with it, and it's not going to be easy. Not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it.
Yeah. So,
because if they don't, they can either keep burying it until they've eventually killed themselves because they've overdosed or they drank too much and their liver's gone, or they've got heart disease or whatever.
Yeah. Or
they can tackle the hard stuff and work through it and come out way better on the other end.
Yeah. It's the tackling it that takes the work. It really does.
Yeah. And therapy helped tremendously.
Yeah. Because I didn't realize it fully until I dug into it, how much of it I repressed and just never dealt with anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd have to agree. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't deal with until I got sober. And I had to look it square in the face and then say, okay, I'm going to release this now because it's not doing me any good to hold on to it.
Yeah. This has been an emotional conversation for me. I didn't realize I was going to get so introspective.
Deep into the quagmire.
Yeah. Well, I think people need to hear it, and we all go through it.
Yeah. We all have to face it. Well, we don't have to face it, but it's really good for our lives if we do and deal with it.
It is. This is going to sound super preachy, and I don't mean it to be, but
Preach on.
for those that struggle with dependence, drugs or alcohol, life and your soul and spirit is really, really beautiful when you're not smothering it with something else.
Hear, hear.
Yeah. Waking up, the realizations that you and I have had. I got out of the shower a couple months ago and the sun was creeping through the window.
Oh God, the sunrises are beautiful.
Yeah, and I said, this is when I would be hungover, laying in bed till 10, 11, 12, trying to get out of bed, and the sun was coming up and you hear the birds chirping. There was a weird depressive anxiety that would blanket me because I would long and miss to be able to get up and enjoy a breath of fresh air, enjoying the smells at the lake or whatever. And when you're hungover and semi-conscious and your soul is just beaten and battered, you can't.
It's very hard to observe and really appreciate joy.
Yeah.
When you're like that.
Yeah. I'm far from perfect. I have a lot of work that I continue to do.
I don't know about you, but I'm
you are. You are.
I'm not.
Okay. You read the chats. There's a lot of good ones in there, babe. Okay. See, yeah, we can't. We gotta figure this out. Otherwise, we just sit here and stare. Just not engaging content.
Jacob said, "Thank you guys. I appreciate you talking about difficult things to help others. These help me a lot."
Yeah.
You are more than welcome, bud. It took us a long time to finally realize and be able to express these things without feeling shame for having gone through these things. Because I would say I was very self-loathing and ashamed of a lot of the things that I did and said when I was drunk and high. There was a lot of things that I was very ashamed of doing. And if our experience and our discussion of it and relating what we went through helps anybody, even if it just helps one person, that's really the only reason why we went into this.
Yep. That's why we started this channel, was we said if we can help just one person while we're being able to have a forum for our discussions, then we have succeeded. And Brian, thank you so much. Okay. Let's wrap it up.
Do you have anything else you want to share?
I got nothing. I'm emotionally tapped out, and I want to go eat. My shoulder is, I think some of the numbness is wearing off.
We were wondering when that was going to, we were hoping it wasn't going to hit right in the middle of the show.
Yeah.
I just want to say, when we were talking about the How to Quit Drinking, the Easy Way to Quit Drinking by Alan Carr, that book helped me a lot.
Oh, you said That was your
Sorry.
one.
That
I was
was-
counting.
No, I've said it before.
Oh, you have?
I'm trying not to.
It's hard, huh?
It's very hard.
You know, like, you know.
So that book really helped me a lot. It's a nice, easy read. It's not very big. It's not. I just hit it again. It's not.
Preachy.
Yeah, it's just basic stuff. Kind of. Some of it is scientific stuff.
Yeah.
So it kind of lays it all out in a nice, easy format.
It's
Very nice to absorb. And there's a lot of really good gems in there. A lot of really aha moments that happened for me when I read it. And I would highly recommend that to anybody.
Yeah. He even starts it out by saying, if you're still drinking, grab your favorite drink and read this while you're drinking if you want.
Yeah.
It just lays out a bunch of facts in there, but it's anymore. There's such good information all over the internet. Oh, and dangerous information, kids. Don't go down the wrong rabbit hole.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So we've discussed our sobriety journey. I think we answered a lot of questions that we had in the comments as of late. And that's that. We're going to wrap it up. Please go out there and join our Discord channel and add to the future show topics if you would like to bring up something.
If anybody wants to talk about anything specific.
If you would like to be a guest on the show, please let us know and we will we'll talk about it and possibly try to accommodate that. In the meantime, stay tuned for our agenda that we're going to start proactively posting so that I would like to get a month-long calendar. So just 4 show topics in a row that we can always see so people
That's
can
doable.
know what they want to do.
Know which ones they want to see.
Yeah. Next Saturday, we are going to do some reaction to videos. And
yeah, there's a couple really good videos out there that I'd like to talk about.
Yep. And we'll do some reactions to some psychology stuff and sobriety things. Thank you all for your support.
Thank you very much. Be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. You are loved.
Yeah, you're fucking loved, goddammit. And be patient.
Yes, mister. I had to actually tell him to be patient with himself today because of the frustration that he's going with his arm.
Yeah.
So
it is not fun. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.